31. The writer argues that people feel there is something missing in life because they written on the couch. This book is about the angst of normal people, of people like us. It offers an explanation of why we are so much more likely to be miserable than our grandparents. Why we are so discontented and self-attacking. Why the moments of emotional richness and freedom of our childhood are less frequent. Why so many of us feel there is something missing from life. It establishes that, compared with 1950, the general rise in aspirations has spawned depression and an epidemic of compulsions like drug abuse, gambling, and eating disorders. We compare ourselves obsessively and enviously, corrupting the quality of inner lives. No sooner do we achieve a goal than we move the goalposts to create a new one, leaving ourselves permanently depleted. There is an outbreak of living in the future and a pathological reenactment of the past. (31) The writer argues that people feel there is something missing in life because they a. exaggerate the freedom of their use, b. no longer know what they want, c. are constantly aiming for what they do not have, d. do not possess sufficient depth of emotion. The correct answer is C. Are constantly aiming for what they do not have. 32. What does the author suggest is a vehicle for advanced capitalism to profit from feeling of despair? People with most of these problems are more likely than those without to have low levels of the neurotransmitter serotonin, the so-called happiness brain chemical. Given that there is a chemistry of despair, one might suppose that it has a chemical, physical cause. Perhaps the problem is pollution. Is it something to do with the processing of the foods we eat or the methods of cultivation of the raw materials? Maybe the new technologies such as mobile phones and computers are interfering with our brains. Though far from impossible that some of these things are contributing, the strongest contender by far for explaining what has gone wrong is the way we organize society. I shall show that advanced capitalism, as currently organized, creates low serotonin societies. Far from being the product of other chemicals, serotonin levels in animal and human brains largely reflect what is happening around them, socially and emotionally. Put crudely, advanced capitalism makes money out of misery and dissatisfaction, as if it were encouraging us to fill the physical void with material goods. It can also profit from fostering spurious individualism by encouraging us to define ourselves through our purchases with ever more precisely marketed products that create a fetishistic concern to have this rather than that, even though there is often no significant practical or aesthetic difference. It can even make money from restoring the chemical imbalance in our brains, which results from these false ambitions and identities, by selling pills and therapeutic services. 32. What does the author suggest is a vehicle for advanced capitalism to profit from feelings of despair? A. Work promotion. B. Marketing. C. Therapy. D. Aesthetic values. The correct answer is marketing. B.